Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my video. And I am at the laundromat right now. My car is in the parking lot. I am in the car, and my car is not starting at all. This is a situation that I really don't need at this point, but essentially this is the situation. So basically, I had this situation last week where I had a hard time starting, and I actually did try to start it, and nothing happened for like 5 times. When I tried it, the 6th time it actually started up, and I turn it back off immediately, turn it back on again. It started up without a problem. Turn it back off, turn it back on. So, so I was thinking maybe it's some weird fluky thing, that. So I didn't think much of it until just now. Not just now, maybe like 45 minutes ago. I'm actually sitting in my car right now, still trying to figure out if there's anything I could actually fix. That's, basically what happened was I thought it was the battery. Last time I thought it was the battery, might be a bit low. This time, I was thinking it might be the battery again. So I'm like, okay. So I popped my hood, went out, checked out the battery. Battery looks fine. I mean, it's a little bit beat up. It's been in this car for about 2 years. Normally, you don't have to change the battery until like 4 or 5 years. I've driven cars with batteries that's been in the car for 6 years. But anyway, I was looking at the terminals. I noticed the terminals were corroded. I'm like, okay, that's probably the issue. Corroded terminal. That's probably the issue. So anyway, I have a wrench set that I bought from AutoZone. Unbolted it, took it out, took a brush, a metal brush, yeah, and I cleaned off the terminals. Pretty much cleaned off the terminals. So I'm like, they're clean. I'm gonna pop this back on. I actually cleaned the terminals too. Popped it back on, and crossed my finger, hoped, and I was pretty sure that was the issue. Tried to turn it on. Nothing happened. So I'm like, okay. At this point, I don't know. Probably, I had to figure out whether it was 100% the battery or not, because I had to move on to, trying to figure out other things. But I gotta be 100% sure it's the battery. So I asked somebody to actually jump my car, and I had to ask at least 3 people before somebody actually told me that they would be okay with helping me out. Anyway, put the cables on, turn on immediately, nothing. So I waited. I left the cables on there for a couple minutes, waited, turn the car back, try to turn it on, nothing happens. Here's the thing, everything works in my car. The lights on my dash work, my radio works, blow motor works, display works, everything works. All the lights work, the alarm works, everything works, except for the fact that I can't get my car to crank. Can't get it to crank. So I'm thinking to myself, I can't get it to crank. What's next? All right. I was thinking maybe it's the alternator. Could it be the alternator? I'm not quite sure whether it's the alternator or not. No. I'm sure it's not the alternator, because from my previous experiences, the only time the alternator goes out on you normally is when the car is running, like when the engine is on. And the alternator pretty much charges up the engine. You don't actually need a battery. If you could take cables off the battery with the alternator running, and that'll provide enough all the electricity this car needs. But it's not the alternator, because the main test for the alternator is if you put cables on the battery to jump it, and the car will jump and start. But once you take the cables off, the car dies out. It's the alternator. But that's not the case, because it didn't happen that way. That's not the case. So moving on to what it could be. I was looking at the ground wire to the battery, the negative, and I noticed that the ground wire, one of the ground wires was a bit frayed. But it didn't look that beat up, so I didn't really check it out too much. So I didn't think that was the problem anyway. So I popped the cover to the fuse box with the fuses and the relays are, and I'm thinking to myself, it's cold out. Yeah, that's what I was thinking to myself, it's cold out. And I've been sitting in my car 45 minutes and it's pretty chilly. No heat, nothing. But anyway, I'm going off course. So I'm like, could it be the relay? Because I'm hearing a click. Normally when you hear a click, that's the solenoid on a relay going off. No, that's the solenoid on a starter going off. That's the relay is working because it's relaying electricity from the battery to the starter. So, but anyway, what could be the case as far as the? All right, so anyway, I actually swapped out the relay. I swapped it out. I swapped out the relay. Because I noticed that there was another relay that was pretty much the same as the starter, so I swapped it out just to be sure. Nothing happened. Obviously, I knew nothing was going to happen. So, all right. So, moving on to other stuff like what could cause it. The fuses. The fuses. It could be the fuses. One of the fuses, something like that would cause it. All right. So basically, I'm thinking to myself, all the experiences that I've had with fuses popping that would cause car issues as far as starting issues. There was one time where the main fuse broke and nothing in the car was on. No electricity, nothing. All right, it's as if somebody took the cables off the electricity, off the battery. What am I talking about? Oh man. Basically, the main fuse blew. Replaced the main fuse and the car worked perfectly. But this is not the issue here because I am getting electricity in the car. So that's not the issue. Second time I had a fuse issue was when the fuse to my fuel pump blew. And what happened was the car was able to crank. It just wouldn't crank over. That was a big issue. Well, it wasn't a big issue. But, man, it's chilly in here. But anyway, I'm waiting for AAA to call me back. But let me just get on with this video. So basically, what happened was the fuel pump blew. The fuse to fuel pump blew. I was able to crank, but it wouldn't turn over. Swapped it out. Car cranked over without a problem. This is not the case here because I'm getting nothing. I'm getting absolutely no crank whatsoever. So that's not the case here. What else could it be? First thing that probably on the top of the list should have been the starter, but I wasn't even thinking about that because I had the starter changed out 6 months ago, and that wasn't even on my mind as far as this whole issue. Even though I've had starters, obviously I've had starters go dead on me, but 6 months on a starter, that was not the thing that I was thinking about that would cause this situation. Unfortunately, I can't really think of anything else besides the starter as far as this situation is concerned. So what I did was I went out, I got a crowbar, bumped on the starter, bump, like hammered it a couple of times, try to start it, nothing. Bump, try to start it, nothing. All right, so I couldn't be 100% sure I couldn't be 100% sure that was a starter even at that point. So I mean, I would have to do some more testing, and there's nothing else I could do at this point. I'm just gonna wait for AAA to pick me up, hopefully to get here soon, because waiting in this car, I am now getting pretty chilly waiting in this car. But I'm gonna keep you guys updated, guys. All right, guys, so guess what? It took AAA 2 hours for them to tow my car back to my house. And I went through all the steps again, tried to jump it, nothing. And I pretty much actually tested out all the fuses, nothing. So basically, at that point, I actually did check out the negative wire to the car because I didn't do a good job of it last time, but I did check it out, nothing. So at that point, I knew. I suspected it was the starter, so I actually ran a line from the positive terminal of my battery to the solenoid terminal, and try to get my car, try to and when I touched the solenoid terminal, nothing happened at all. So I knew at that point that something on the starter broke, and it was dead, which sucked. I took it out, went to AutoZone. It had like a 1 year warranty on it, and I don't really care about the 1 year warranty. I just the time that it cost me this whole entire issue, it really sucks. But they gave me a free, it was under warranty, so I got one without charge, another one without charge, popped it in, and it works. It works without a problem now, but still. Anyway, I hope this video has helped you guys out. If it has, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. If you guys have any comments, please leave your comment in the comment section. All right, guys? Thanks.